Dear friends, welcome to today's session. Today's session involves a brief discussion about the cloud security fundamentals. So let us begin. So, talking about security in cloud, it has become a major concern nowadays because most of the data that we are dealing with is stored in the cloud or is accessed over the cloud. Hence, the data that we are dealing with should be stored in an encrypted form so that people do not get a chance, or any other element do not get a chance to manipulate and modify the data that has been stored. Security should be imposed in terms of restriction of the client from accessing the shared data directly, or to integrate and install some proxy and brokerage services which will enable to strengthen the process of security in cloud computing. Talking about planning of the security, so any activity before it is actually executed involves intensive planning. So before deploying a particular resource to the cloud, it might be a data, a service, or an infrastructure, one should need to analyze several aspects of the resource, which involves we should select those resource that needs to move to the cloud and analyze its sensitivity to risk. So sensitivity towards risk is the first and foremost point that should come to our mind. For that, definitely we should categorize the risk that that particular resource might be facing, and according to that we should take a decision whether to move that resource to the cloud or not. We can consider different cloud service models such as infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service, which has already been discussed in our previous session. And these models require customer to be responsible for security at different levels of service, because the customers also need to maintain their information in a well secured environment. Hence, some part of security is also given to the customer so that the customer can secure their data and services or resources well. The cloud type should be considered while when we are going for the planning purpose, because there are multiple number of cloud types which are available, that includes private, public, community, or hybrid. So it depends upon the priority and prerogative on the personal choice of the user and the customers, as well as the service providers, to provide their service in a chosen cloud type. Understand the cloud service provider system about the data storage and its transfer into and out of the cloud. And the risk in cloud deployment mainly depends upon the service models and cloud types. Hence, we have to consider the service models and the cloud types initially before we actually plan out to deploy our resources or data in the cloud. So this slide represents the various types of deployment models and three different types of cloud which is available for us to deploy. There is one more cloud which is available, that is the community based cloud. So understanding the security of the cloud, that means understanding the security of the environment where we are about to deploy our resources, services, or data, is extremely important, because it will give us a clear understanding about the different boundaries and the limitations associated with each of the boundaries. So there are security boundaries involved for different types of models which we can choose for. So a particular service model will define the boundary between the responsibilities of a service provider and a customer. That model is known as Cloud Security Alliance Stack model, and this Cloud Security Alliance Stack model is responsible for defining the boundaries between each service model and shows how different functional units relate to each other. So if we have this Cloud Security Alliance Stack model, we can also identify the different types of different types of properties each of this particular models have, and we can take or choose our options accordingly. So this is representing the CSA stack model, where different boundaries are denoted by these dotted lines, and this model is responsible for introducing the different components in each of the um, containers or each of the boundaries that are available. So infrastructure as a service is the most basic level of service, with platform as a service and security as a service next to above levels of services. So when we are moving upwards, each of the service inherits capabilities and security concerns of the model beneath. That means integration and middleware, along with APIs, core connectivity and delivery, abstraction, hardware and facilities, together forms the platform as a security. It is not so that if we are considering platform as a security, we can leave out the other respective components of infrastructure as a security. So PaaS together comes with infrastructure as a security plus integration and middleware. Similarly, SaaS security boundary will be comprising of the SaaS components along with the platform platform as a service will be comprise of platform as a service as well as security software as a service. So this is basically generating or displaying the concept of having a subset for the entire system. Infrastructure as a service provides the infrastructure, whereas platform as a service will be providing the platform development environment, and software as a service will be providing the entire environment as a whole. This model describes the security boundaries at which cloud service providers' responsibilities end and customers' responsibilities begin. So all of these components, so whatever we are seeing here, they are basically the starting point of the customer's responsibility, and any security mechanism below the security boundary must be built into the system and should be maintained by the customer. Although each service model has security mechanism, the security needs also depend upon where the services are located in private, public, hybrid or community cloud. So all of these components will be different for different types of models. Hence, the customer's role is extremely important in order to identify what type of security boundary we need in order to execute our process. So talking about understanding the data security, since data is what we are dealing with in and out of the cloud, and since all the data is transferred using internet, that data's security is of major concern in the cloud. So there are various mechanisms in order to secure the data, like access control, auditing, authentication, authorization, encryption. So all of these service models should incorporate security mechanisms operating in all the above mentioned areas. Not only this, we should also find a scope for having replication of the data so that there is enough fault tolerance available, so that if one node fails, we can always retrieve our data from the other possible replicas of the system. So data security is of utmost importance because what we are dealing with is just data, and along with it the associated resources. Talking about isolated access to data, since data stored in the cloud can be accessed from anywhere, we must have a mechanism to isolate the data and protect it from the client's direct access. A lot of things are happening over the cloud along with the data. We are getting infrastructure, we are getting resources, we are getting services, we are getting various types of applications, APIs, etc. However, our primary concern is to save our data from any external threats or vulnerabilities, because of which we need to isolate access to the data. That means we cannot have the data to be given or distributed among everyone who is making an access to who is being given an access to the system. So we use brokered cloud storage access, which is an approach for isolating storage in the cloud. In this particular approach, two different services are created. We have a broker and a proxy. So a broker will have full access to the storage, but there will be no access to the client, and a proxy will have no access to the storage but will have access to both the client and the broker. So basically we will be using a proxy and a broker in order to access that particular data which is stored in our storage. So how does the working of a brokered cloud storage access system work? So if we look at the diagram, so we can understand it. So basically what happens is, when a client issues request to access the client data request goes to the external interface or external service of the proxy. So there is a proxy and a broker in between the cloud storage and between the client. So whenever a client is sending a request, it is going to the interface, external interface of the proxy, and the proxy forwards the request to the broker. The broker requests the data from the cloud storage system, and in the same manner the cloud storage system returns the data reply storage of the data relay, and finally the data response is given to the client. Now what is the benefit of having such a brokered cloud storage access? We are involving the internet, the cloud on the web, as well as cloud services in order to implement this brokered cloud storage access. Doing this, we will be initially applying two different levels of security, where we are applying rules to reinstate the request, and we can also check for any type of modified data request. Similarly, while returning the response also, it depends upon the broker and the proxy how the response will be generated. Whether it gives full access to the resources or partial access to the resources can be given by the or programmed into the proxy and the broker essentially. Now simply maintaining the data or simply protecting the data from external threats will not be of much help if we do not have physical data security as well. So talking about physical data security, we will talk about data center security. This is basically the security which is associated with each of the data centers. So there is a personal authorization, access monitoring, access logging, security personnel, and high availability. Talking about personal authorization, it involves first of all, preparing a list of individuals with access revalidated quarterly, so that after every quarter if someone is removed from the access control list, he or she cannot get access to the data center immediately. Access requires current business requirement and revoked when the business need ends. It might be for 1 day, or it might be for 1 week, or 1 year, or 10 years respectively, depending upon the needs of the business. The next one is the access monitoring, where biometric controls will be installed at all physical access points. There will be slab to slab barriers so that there is no peeking or over the head copying of data. There would be man traps, motion sensors, alarms, and video cameras to keep a physical look on, or keep a physical security system over any random access by any random people. Access login, there will be logs which are periodically reviewed. Security personnel, there will be, we have security manned 365 days a year or 24 hours a day, which can be located at the security gates or at the gates of where the of those locations where there might be threat attacks. So the high availability, we should have redundant power and network connectivity so that the data that is stored is not being lost. So talking about cloud computing security architecture on a per cloud service model basis. So initially we will talk about infrastructure as a service cloud computing security architecture. It provides storage and network resources in the cloud because we make use of a lot of APIs to help and manage and operate the cloud, and these APIs are not very secure because they are open and easily accessible from the web. Hence it is essential that we maintain this cloud computing security architecture in the IaaS level as well. The CSP is responsible for integrating and configuring this kind of security, and it is the organization security obligations to cover the rest of the layers, maintaining the business applications. Now, talking about how to visualize the cloud network security issues at the infrastructure as a service level, a network packet broker is deployed in the IaaS environment, and this broker sends traffic and data to the network performance management. So these two are the key components which will be involved in the entire maintaining security of the system. So that packet broker will be forwarding the traffic and the data to the performance management system, and once the performance management system receives the information, it will activate the necessary or relevant security tools. It will also establish a logging of the events occurring in the network on various network endpoints. Now, IaaS cloud deployments require some of the additional security features like network segmentation, intrusion detection and prevention system, various firewalls which are placed in the front end of the web applications to protect against malicious code and at the end of the cloud network, and there should be also virtual routers so that it becomes or the entire system is not directly accessible for any type of attacks. So talking about the next model, which is software as a service cloud computing security architecture. So it provides access to software applications and data through a browser. So here we'll make use of cloud access security browsers, or cloud access security brokers, which will be offering logging, auditing and access control and encryption capabilities, which can be critical when investigating security issues in a SaaS product. And we also have to make sure that the environment has logging and alerting, IP whitelists and or blacklists, API gateways in case the service is accessed via API. So maintaining a log of all these properties will actually help us to find out if there is any type of attack that has happened from any of the systems or any of the systems or any of the nodes in the network, or if there has been any physical access to the system, which will help us to find the necessary details in the logging and also generate the necessary alert. Talking about platform as a service, it enables organization to build applications without the overhead and complexity associated with managing hardware and backend software. It is as good as providing the environment to develop your softwares. So in a PaaS model, the CSP will protect most of the environment. However, still the company is still responsible for the security of applications and its developing, because up till network level the company, the service provider can help. Beyond that, the organization has to make its own arrangements. So therefore a PaaS security architecture is similar to a SaaS model, and it will ensure that if we have a CASP, logging and alerting, IP restrictions and an API gateway to ensure secure internal and external access to the application's API. So both PaaS and SaaS will have similar types of functionalities because both of them nearly functions in an equivalent manner. So this is all for today's session. We will talk further on cloud computing security issues in our next session. Thank you.